Did Elon Musk go too far? It was a rude awakening for Ben Stiller when his obsequious and racialized comments about Kamala Harris was met with an avalanche of trolling on X, and even the world's richest man couldn't resist, but can you really blame him? I'll let you be the judge, so watch for yourself what he said before I tell you more about it.
I just want to let you know I'm going to match your $150,000 donation. Everybody's got to get out and vote and donate. And she's also a historic candidate. You know, it's going to be the first woman president. And that's incredibly exciting. And, you know, she's Indian, she's Black, she's everything. You can be more than one thing. It's incredible. You know, I'm Jewish and Irish. I wish I was Black. Every white Jewish guy wishes he was Black. You know, it's just get out there and vote and donate and like take advantage. This is such an important time right now. And this wave of energy that's happening, we got to keep going with it. So please, do everything you can.
Was that supposed to be a joke? Does Ben Stiller realize just how dumb he sounds trying and failing to appease to someone along a collectivist racial line? Reminds me of back in 2020 when a bunch of white BLM supporters literally supplicated and cried for forgiveness for their white privilege in front of African American people, but the problem is no one's buying it anymore, and you just seem incapable of reading the room that America's finally moved on. Elon Musk had more than a few words to say about it, saying, "Damn, he went full R-word." Musk could have his reasons for that because Ben is one of those celebrities that have apparently become part of the new exodus, moving over to Blue Sky from X instead, and that's a shift that shows where his head is at politically. By the way, do consider subscribing to the channel, hit the notification bell, because we've got content in the pipeline you don't want to miss. Now, I think Elon is implicitly pointing out an interesting contradiction here for someone that was recently in the news. For saying Robert Downey Jr.'s character in Tropic Thunder couldn't be done today, he still doesn't believe it's worth it to go back and apologize for. That means he's not as sensitive on topics of race as he pretends to be. So the statement he made about wanting to be Black seems more like an ill-placed political statement. If you've been following Ben Stiller for some time now, you'll realize he's been one of the bigger names in Hollywood calling for more donations from fans for the Democratic Party and Kamala. He's been part of several remote fundraiser events, which perhaps explains why he's almost donning a woke identity politics persona, because that's what he believes will get people to listen. But guess what? Every time he does it, he makes a fool of himself, just like he did while attending a town hall hosted by Oprah, donating $150,000 before going on an ill-timed long monologue on being pro-choice that Oprah had to interrupt.
But it was really, I mean, it was great though, because everybody was so energized. And I mean, I got to go to the convention and see her speech, which was just incredible, and feeling that energy, you know, feeling kind of going from a stop Trump mode into a go Kamala mode. The people starting to, you know, really hear what she's about. And you know, I have a 22-year-old daughter, 19-year-old son who's going to be voting in his first election. My daughter's, you know, her reproductive rights are incredibly important. You know, standing up for.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. And I think
standing up for,
yeah. I think what Chris said. We're ready to turn the page. Thank you, Ben Stiller.
Speaking of which, Ben Stiller has donated at least hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Kamala Harris campaign, even in his personal capacity, and he seems awfully quiet now that news is coming out of how terribly inefficient the campaign was at burning through more than $1 billion in a few months. I mean, surely if you'd been rallying your fans to give their hard-earned money toward a cause, perhaps you'd owe them an explanation or an apology when it turns out a lot of it went to waste. And you know what? The Kamala Harris campaign recently has even come out and has the gall to demand even more money from donors and supporters. Yes, even after the election, people are complaining that they are still receiving emails and texts pleading for more donations for a campaign that is already over, allegedly to cover its tens of millions of dollars of debt. Now say what you will about Ben Stiller, he's at least been slightly more toned down and consistent in his criticism of Donald Trump, even in his explicit campaigning for the Democrats is new to him. Here's a clip of him from 8 years ago that aged poorly, to say the least, claiming someone like Donald Trump could never make it to the White House.
It may be like a historical thing or something that's like kind of not necessarily having to be super funny.
You have so many celebrities in this Zoolander 2. It's astonishing. I'm assuming that people were very keen to be part of it, which is fascinating in itself.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you about two that appeared in Zoolander 1? The first being Donald Trump.
Look, without Derek Zoolander, male modeling wouldn't be what it is today.
Does it surprise you that Donald Trump is now a candidate for president of the United States?
No, it doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised that he's gotten this far and that it's gone on this long with, the rhetoric that he puts out there, for sure.
Right.
But I don't know, for me, he seems more like sort of like the villain in a Naked Gun movie or something. Can't take him seriously, But,
Right, but
some people
now-
are taking him seriously, which is the crazy thing. And I think, he is, I think he's going to keep going with it as long as people keep taking it, but I don't see it going all the way.
All the way to the White House.
I don't think so.
So that's maybe the second most dumb thing he's said when it comes to politics. The problem with many of these Hollywood celebrities pivoting to the Democratic Party is that they're not really allowed to have a thought of their own. They've simply got too much to lose when it comes to their career, reputation, movie roles, and money. And that's why you see some high-profile actors like Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, and Leonardo DiCaprio just stay out of the political arena entirely on purpose. While someone like Ben Stiller, who does want to dabble into political waters, knows from the get-go that he'll be severely restrained in what he can and cannot say. That's part of the reason you hardly hear an original or deep argument from someone like him, other than surface-level platitudes that can be rehearsed and recited when needed. For example, Ben Stiller's advocacy for supporting the war in Ukraine makes it more abundantly clear. Do you think he truly understands the intricate geopolitics of Eastern Europe, or is he just jumping on the bandwagon? He even met with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky a few months ago and gave him the same appeasing attitude, calling him my hero.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Really nice to meet you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for taking the time.
Great honor from you.
No.
We know you very well.
It's
Yes.
a great honor for me, and nice to see you. It's really wonderful. You're my hero. You're
No,
amazing.
no,
Yes.
I'm
No. As you quit a great acting career for this.
Not so great as you.
No, but pretty great.
Thanks so much.
But what you've done and the way that you've rallied the country and what for the world, it's really inspiring. So.
It's too much for me. Chief of office. Yeah.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It's hard to understand what is actually going on here if you haven't been here. We were talking about just the actual impact of coming here.
Make of that what you will, but I think it's a really interesting window into the mind of rich celebrities who know they have a lot to lose as they try to navigate the minefield of politics today. But more often than not, it's a losing game because having a lot to lose in an industry like Hollywood means always being inauthentic and never being able to go full out with what you truly believe. That's the sad situation that someone like Ben Stiller is stuck in, but let me know in the comments what you thought about this, and share this with any Ben Stiller fans that you may know to get their reaction. Unfortunately, I really loved Ben Stiller and I'm very disappointed. Anyway, I think that's just a reminder that sometimes it really is best to keep your opinions to yourself if you can't stand by them.